So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a little bit of our brake-in oil that we're going to use, and I'm going to run a little bit more around. I noticed I got a little bit of brake clean on the inside of that cylinder, and I want to, since this is sat, you know, for a week after being built, I want there to be at least a little bit of oil in there for startup purposes. So I'm going to run just a little bit of oil in there to make sure, and try to get all the little bits of paper towel out as well. But just a little bit of oil in there to make sure it's good when it comes time to start it up. Okay, so I got just a little bit of oil in here. I'm just going to kind of lube up the outside of the cylinder just for a little extra protection on that first start. You don't need a whole lot. And this is conventional oil. There's no point in using synthetic when you're going to be braking the motor. Now that I've done that, I'm going to make sure that I didn't drip any, because I did drip some, and probably clean those surfaces one more time, because I'm an idiot. Don't be an idiot. That's why you're watching the video, so you can learn from my mistakes. So, I make mistakes so you don't have to. So I'm going to clean around the cylinder again a little bit before I put on the head gasket. Okay, so here's our head gasket. It's just an OEM one, nothing spectacular about it. What you'll notice is they send these in oil, and you want to make sure, one, that there's no like big creases in it or anything, and then you want to make sure you clean everything you can off of this sucker. Hate to put your car together, not clean something, and have an oil leak. And there's a few little spots that there's some stubborn oil on. Tell it's, see? So, clean it, wipe it down, clean it again. When your car works and doesn't leak, you guys can come back here and leave a comment and say, hey, my head gasket didn't leak because I cleaned everything. Now everywhere I'm touching, I'm going to clean again. This is just our initial wipe down. Take this part very, very seriously. Still black coming off, so you want to wipe it till nothing comes off. Make sure you get it in a light. You know, don't do this in a dark place where you're not going to see smudges and stuff. It's a mirror, almost pretty opaque. It's kind of opaque, but it's got a real shine to it, so you'll be able to see any oil residue on there pretty easily. I'm feeling good about this side, I think. See that? It's all shiny compared to this other side. It's got gunk on it all over the place. So, keep cleaning. Spot on your towel. Yeah, we're still pulling up dirt, so there's gonna be a lot of fast forwarding in this video as I do this stuff because it is time consuming. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. So the main thing, the key to putting on a head gasket is you want to line up your oil passage, which is this loop, this hole right here. So you see it fits right through. And it'll go over your dowels, there and there. Scrub it with the clean side of the rag and make sure nothing comes back on it. You don't want those kind of problems. Quick note, here's how our heads came back. I mean, they look freaking brand new. The guy here did a great job. So you're gonna need to take the cams out. Again, make sure you keep it down so your buckets don't slide out. And then we will put the head on the head gasket surface. So find a soft spot to put this down now that it's been resurfaced. So we've cleaned this surface of the head as well. Should be pretty clean, and you don't have to take the cam off to put it on. You do eventually, but you also don't want to mar up the mating surface. And there you go. So now is the time you take the cams off, you take the cam caps off, and once you get the cams off, then we will lube up our fasteners and put those on. There's a washer and a fastener, and I'll show you how we do that in just a second. I'm going to get these cam caps off real quick. Okay, so we're ready to put our washers and our fasteners on. Definitely need to clean these. They're shipped in oil. Yes, I'm using brake cleans on my hands. I wouldn't suggest it, but you know, you want to clean the washers as well as you can and put them in. Also inspect the area where the washer sits. Make sure there's no dirt or anything. You know, then again, these just came from the shop. They've been hot tanked and all of that stuff, so I'm not really concerned about any of that. And I have to mess with these a little bit, but just clean the washers. It does kind of seem silly sometimes to clean them because you're just about to put a bunch of assembly lubricant on them, but trust me, just follow the directions. Here, I'll spray it on my rag this time. Maybe people won't be so mad at me for using chemicals on my own skin. I gave up caring about my hands a long time ago. You know, it's funny, assembling the short block was a lot of fun, but the rest of it kind of stinks until you get to the heads. For some reason, I love putting heads on the car. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Maybe it's because it's more of an involved process, more tedious. I don't know, but or maybe it, you know, signifies that you're getting close to making toot-soo noises. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we have our nuts, and we're gonna clean them also. And you know, in order to take these off. The OEM ones, we used a 14 mil 12 point. These, you use, I believe it's a 15 mil. Got a 15 here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So I know I put one on there. I don't know what I was thinking. You got to put the lubricant on. So in order to do this, you just squeeze a little bit out, and you'll have plenty. And you're going to want to lubricate the stud itself. As well as the bottom of the fastener. It's really a nut. I don't know why it's a fastener. I don't know the difference. Maybe somebody can teach me that. And then put that on. It's always bad. You see insects start flying into your build. You're like, I hope that doesn't affect anything. Yeah. And don't worry about getting this evenly spread on the stud itself. As you bolt that down, it'll go to where it's supposed to go. So don't worry too much about that. You don't just need a ton, you know. You need enough that it's going to basically end up covering that washer when it comes time to torque this stuff down. And don't worry about getting it here and there. Yeah, you can clean that up later. Again, we cleaned all of our nuts and our washers before we put anything on. And we will have to clean up every little stupid splotch I've made later. It's easier to squeeze it right on there. Doesn't seem too bad. Now when you're putting these on, don't even put them where they're hitting the washer yet. The reason is there's a real specific torque sequence, and even just putting 1 or 2 foot-pounds on the outside before you do the inside could actually cause it not to make the head gasket seal as well. And we don't want that. We definitely don't want to come back to this point at any point. Really, you never want to go backwards. So just kind of make sure that I'm used a lot on that one. Not quite that much. Will live. Alright, here's our last one. Now the next thing you're going to need to do is grab your torque wrench and your socket that fits these the best. And I'll show you that step. Let me grab my torque wrench. Okay, so I guess I started without you, but crap. I lubricated the nuts and put them on. Got my torque wrench. It's set to 30 foot-pounds. That's our first torque sequence. We're going to go and there's a special way you do this. Top, number 1, bottom, middle, top towards the front of the motor. Bottom, back, diagonal is number 4. Bottom towards the front is number 5. So 90 foot-pounds is usually a little bit of a strain. I'm not actually having too much problems today. You notice I always check it again to make sure I got to where I want to go. Alright, well, I think I'm done grunting in front of you guys for now. I'm going to